is so much joy in being together. If our being is without any ulterior or selfish motive. Unselfishness is God, said Swami Vivekananda. When there is no selfish ulterior motive, God manifests there. And that happens when we meet devotees, we all meet together. Today is a very auspicious day, not only because we are here together in the name of the Vedanta, but especially from the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Today, according to lunar calendar, it is called Shodasi Puja or Falaharini Kali Puja. Long back, Sri Ramakrishna did very unique thing in the history of a spiritual person. He worshipped his own wife, literally worshipped with flowers, sandal paste, incense stick, arati, and offered food, was in meditation, became one with the deities. He worshipped his wife as the deity. Which deity? As the Divine Mother. Which Divine Mother? The Divine Mother is called Shodasi. Shodasi is one of the 10 Mahavidyas, and she was worshipped by her husband Sri Ramakrishna. It was 1872, 6th of June, and the day was Falaharini Kali Puja. This is the day today, Falaharini Kali Puja. So, on this auspicious occasion, to be with the devotees, to do worship of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swamiji, do our little arati, is all the blessing of God when we come here. On this occasion, before I begin the talk on the importance and glory of the name of God, I would request Buddhadev Guha, who is coming with me. In fact, he is driving me here all the way from Toronto, and to read something from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, or whatever he likes to read, some spiritual context. Buddhadev Guha from Toronto.
It took place on the night of the Falaharini Kali Puja day, when the Divine Mother is worshipped as the consumer of the karmas of the devotee. Arrangements for worship were made in the Master's room, and Sharada was requested to be present at the worship. After the Master had gone through the preliminary rites of worship, he beckoned to Sharada Devi to sit on the seat set apart for the deity. He then invoked the presence of the Divine Mother in her with the mantra, O Divine Mother, Thou eternal Virgin, the mistress of all powers and the abode of all beauty, deign to unlock for me the gate to perfection, sanctifying the body and mind of this woman. Do thou manifest thyself through her and do what is auspicious. Then he went through all the procedures of a full ritualistic worship with 16 ingredients. He first performed the nasa, which consists in touching the different parts of one's body with appropriate mantras and identifying them in meditation with the corresponding parts of the deity. After that, he worshipped with 16 items with appropriate mantras. In the course of it, he applied red paint to the soles of Sharada Devi, put a vermilion mark on her forehead, put on her a new cloth, put a little of sweets and betel leaf in her mouth, and performed the arati before her. The bashful Sharada received all these acts of adoration without the least feeling of hesitation. The sense of identification with the deity must have come on her. Both the master and the mother were in a state of ecstatic and semi-conscious absorption in the course of the worship. And by the time it came to an end, they were in complete samadhi, in which the worshipper and the worshipped realized the identity of their being as existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. After a considerable length of time, when the second watch of the night had fairly advanced, the master regained external consciousness. Then he resigned himself completely to the Divine Mother, and in a supreme act of consecration, offered to the deity manifest before him the fruits of his austerities, his rosary, himself, and everything that was his. He then uttered the following mantra: O Goddess, I prostrate myself before thee again and again, before thee, the eternal consort of Shiva, the three-eyed, the golden-hued, the indwelling spirit in all, the giver of refuge, the accomplisher of every end, and the most auspicious among all auspicious objects. The significance of this rite in the lives of these two great personages can hardly be overestimated. For Sri Ramakrishna, it signified the final triumph of the spirit over the body and the recognition of divinity in all. It marked the successful conclusion of his spiritual strivings and his establishment in the state of the divine man. In the life of Sri Sharada Devi, the Holy Mother too, it had a deep significance. When Sri Ramakrishna, the divine incarnation of the age, invoked the presence of the Divine Mother in her and worshipped her as such, she was elevated in truth and in reality from Sharada, the daughter of Ramachandra, to Sharada, the Holy Mother, the manifestation of the eternal Mother of the universe for all humanity to worship. It has been already stated how the Master had, for the time of his marriage, been praying to the Mother of the universe to divinize the person of his wife, and how her answer to a leading question he put to her as a test proved that the transformation was largely effected, and how she was in all respects a partner in life, well matched with him in all respects. And now, by the performance of this rite of षोडशी Puja, in which he identified the deity with Sharada and surrendered all his spiritual practices and their fruits to her, he virtually made her a participant of all his austerities and spiritual attainments. It is sometimes asked why the Holy Mother did not perform sadhanas like the Master. She did perform much in this field, but the real answer is in the षोडशी Puja, by virtue of which the Holy Mother became a full sharer in the spiritual glory of the Master, as the spiritual counterpart of the great world teacher, Sri Ramakrishna. She had no need to reenact the same scenes of the one common drama which they were together staging before mankind. She had other parts to play by way of fulfilling and supplementing the Master's work. In another sense, also the षोडशी Puja was a landmark in her life. It made her a vital part of Sri Ramakrishna's mission. In that rite, the Master invoked in her the presence of the Divine Mother, the same supreme energy that was manifesting in him. Henceforth, just as in the Master's case, her body and mind became the venue of expression for that energy. For the rest of her life, she served the Master and helped in his mission. And after his passing away, his mantle fell on her, and through a long period of spiritual ministry, she completed what the Master had left unfinished.
Thank you, Buddhadev. Wonderful passage you read so beautifully, taking us back to 1872, when Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Sri Sharada Devi as a worshipper worships the deity. She was the deity, the Divine Mother. Sri Ramakrishna was the worshipper. In that time, Sri Ramakrishna offered all the fruits of his sadhana. Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual practice is unprecedented in the history of mankind. For 12 years, he practiced everything, all the types of spiritual practices, from Tantra to Vedanta to Vaishnava to even to Christianity to Islam, and he attained the perfection in all the paths. And later on he proclaimed how many faiths, so many are the paths to reach God. And he did it through his own practice, experiment, and the proof that all the sadhana was culminated on that day. He offered the fruits of all his sadhana to Holy Mother. Knowing she is the Divine Mother, Shodashi herself, Tripura Sundari herself, the congregation or the totality of all divine power was the Tripura Sundari. And he offered his own rosary also. So that after that he didn't have to practice anything, everything completed. His part of sadhaka completed, now starts the role of his teacher, the world teacher after that. So that was the Shodashi Puja Day, New Moon Day in 1872, in the month of June, on the 6th date. So today's talk is God's name alone. The name itself says that we are going to talk about the glory of the name of God. Here it says there are many ways to realize the self, realize God, realize the truth. Realizing God is going beyond our ego, conquering our ego. That all makes us less than what we really are. Ego says, I am a human being of this size and this look and this much knowledge, this much wealth. All that is the ego. And it just reduces us to a 6 feet, 7 feet, 5 feet being with having a particular shape made up of some compounds, some chemicals, and with some organs, tissues, cells. And that becomes some little mind enclosed and some vital force continuum. That becomes our identity, which is totally rubbish compared to what we really are. Who says that? It is said by the scriptures. Scriptures, our real eyes. And they say that you are infinite, blissful being, never under the sway of any suffering, any delusion, any fear. You are always free and immortal being you are. That all is gone. We forget that. We consider ourselves to be a small little being which is in this universe, facing the universe, always afraid of insecurity, always afraid of disease and old age and death. Forgotten that we are not the one who will die. We are immortal beings. We are infinite. We are pure consciousness. That is our reality. And this ego makes us all feel this way. Makes us very small. whatever the ego manifestation is there, whenever someone says to us little insult, we become very angry. They say his ego is hurt or her ego is hurt. Ego had some idea about ourselves. This. Whenever there is little deviation from the idea that we have thought about ourselves, some expectation from the world, whenever there is little change, we get hurt. That is how flimsy is our ego. And we have reduced ourselves to this level by the process called Maya or Moha. And to get rid of this ego of ourselves is the spiritual practice. How to regain our real nature. In Sanskrit, in Vedanta, it is said, we are all kings. We have lost our kingdom. Then how to gain? We have to regain that kingdom. Apnoti swarajyam. The word is swarajya, your own lost kingdom we have to get. And that kingdom is that infinite being we are, one without a seeing, one without a second, which appears as this universe. Everything in the universe is our soul. When our ego is annihilated, when our ignorance is gone, then we shine in the glory of the knowledge of the self. To get rid of this ego, there are many paths. One of the paths is called path of devotion. Another is called path of meditation. You meditate, try to still your mind. When mind becomes still, no ripples, no thought, all desires vanished, all fear gone, then you have become pure mind, where mind is not existing at all, where the mind becomes no mind. That is the yatra mano amano bhavati, where mind becomes no mind. So in that state, the reality manifests. We understand who we really are. We have conquered that hinders our knowledge. One is the path of dhyana yoga, path of meditation. Another is the path of vichara, jnana yoga. All this life is transitory, and this transitory thing is really not real. Like this dream we say is unreal, because it is transitory. It is there when we sleep. When we wake up, it is not there, vanished. Because it is not there after we wake up, we say it was all false, unreal. Like that is this life, this what we are. It is there till we leave. After we die, nothing of here is there. So it is also transitory, ephemeral, so evanescent. This is the world. And trying to understand, am I this body? Body I cannot be, because the scriptures say I am immortal being, infinite, immortal, no change, changeless being I am. Everything that I consider as mine, this body, senses, pranas, and our mind, the intellect, everything is transitory, changing for the time being. So they cannot be me. Then who am I? So who am I, that question. And the answer, practice is, I am not this. Not this, not this. Neti, neti. I am not hand, I am not body, I am not prana. I am not mind, I am not intellect. And then what I am? Whoever I am, that manifests, it comes up, it shines forth when I can totally negate my false identity of this body and mind as my being. Complete annihilation of the ego, total abnegation of the ego, and reality flashes. That is the path of vichara or jnana yoga. And dhyana yoga, jnana yoga. And there is another path that quite made prominent by Sri Krishna, practiced by Buddha, and in the modern times made more practical and made more usable by Swami Vivekananda. That path is called the path of karma yoga, path of action. Action, karma itself is binding. Karma or the action is done to fulfill our desires, and fulfill our expectation. And we have many passions, many dreams to fulfill our dreams. For that we do the action. We work in the office, we study hard, we try to get salary, we want to be rich, we want to have this, we want to have that. All this comes with that desires lead us to work. Work is karma. Karma is more binding. It goes on more tying us with ego more and more. I have achieved this. I am now millionaire. So more of ego. And I am, then you want to have more rich. That person is billionaire. I want to be close to him. I am now earning hard work. And you get bind to the work. Passions come, desires come, expectations come, and you get what you want. But ultimately, nothing remains. You become old and death comes and it takes away. Your billion dollars, nothing works. And ultimately you realize, what did I do? It was useless to run after wealth and money and the name and fame. So karma binds us to our ego, inflates our ego. But that very action, when done properly, in the spirit of yoga, very action, it makes us free, it emancipates, it gives liberation, it yields salvation. That process of using action to make us free is called karma yoga. Karma yoga is doing work not for the self, but for the sake of others. Service, help, friendliness, always ready to give something to others. Nothing for myself. I don't want anything. That type of action, I do for others everything. That type of action is called karma yoga. Finally, when you forget thinking about yourself. There was one saint who was so much studious that he was writing the explanation of Brahma Sutra. And it took many years for him to write that thing, and was deeply involved in writing that scripture, that meaning of that scripture. And it took many years. He was unaware of time has gone. Month, day, month, year, all were passing. One day he finds one old lady had come, and to her close to him. His work is almost completed. He said, "Mother, who you are?" He said, "I am your wife." He already forgotten wife from youth. She turned into old age. He had no idea of anything. All he was engrossed in writing the meaning of the scripture called Brahma Sutra. And then he said, "I didn't do any of my service to my wife. What should I give her? Everything is gone." So he said, "I will give the name of my explanation, commentary of this Brahma Sutra in your name." That's why that scripture is called in the name of her Bhanumati Tika. What is the Tika name? Bhamati Tika. In her name, in the name of his wife, he put the name. That is karma yoga, done with the knowledge, but the work was done for the sake of knowledge, so that people get the light by reading the explanation of that Bhamati Tika. Like that also, when we totally become selfless, egoless by the process of serving others, that also we find the God manifests. That is path of karma yoga. Karma frees us, makes us free. So in bhakti yoga, there are many ways. It is about loving God, to be close to God, to be in association with God. How to be close with God? One way is to worship. Worship, be in the church and you worship God and you feel the presence of God. Another way is as we do ritualistic worship. Feel the presence of deity in the image or photograph or the symbol, and you worship with whatever articles you like to worship, like flowers, incense stick, and all those things. And that way also love for God increases. Another way to have the connection with your beloved being, the Lord, the God yourself, who resides in your heart, is meditating on God. You meditate on your beloved within your heart. Get closer and closer. Meditation deepens and you feel one with God. The way, all these are very difficult. Ritualistic worship, we often distract from there. We forget that deity is there. We go on more on paraphernalia of our worship, from 5 articles to 10 articles to 16 articles. How big is the food offered? How big is the arrangement? All that goes, so it goes distracted. About meditation, we all know when we try to meditate how difficult it is to really fix our mind on God. It remains there for few seconds and then goes somewhere else without our intention. Meditation is also very difficult. Then how can we have love for God grown in us? The easiest way for this age, which is called Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, the present times when we live, when there are so many things to distract us, so many things, the science, technology, all that has made so many things that is attractive and distractive. All this distract. Now this new gadget has come, this electronic gadgets, laptops and your iPads and smartphone. So much of this thing. Somebody told, one person was keeping fast, all the fast. So what are you taking? Oh, I'm keeping fast. I'm not taking anything. No cereal, no rice grain, only water. So you are not taking any food. So no. But you still, and then he said, you still have to give up one more thing. What I have to give up? Your cell phone. Keep cell phone fasting. Not only food fasting and water fasting and fruit fasting will do. You have to do cell phone fasting because that has become a part of personality now in these days. So that much of distraction the modern technology has brought to us. So in this age, meditation is difficult. So is there a way in this age, how can we connect when there are so many things of distraction, charm, allurement is all around given to us? Yes, that is what scriptures and great saints say, that in Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Only the name of Lord, repeating the name of God is alone the way. Kalau nastyatra 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 gati anyatha. In this age, there is no other way to come closer to God, to have a connection with Him, to have the full love of Him. So it is the only repeating the name that will gradually take us to God. So repeating the name, that is the glory of name. God's name alone in this age. All other spiritual practices are very difficult. In some other age, when there was less distraction, that was possible. So repeating God's name is so important, let's say. One attains God through japa, by repeating the name of God secretly and in solitude. One receives divine grace. Then comes his vision. Sri Ramakrishna said this. In seclusion and in secrecy, you repeat your God's name. Nobody knows, no show, but you are repeating God's name. Just name of God repeating. And that the divine grace will flow because of that. And when the divine grace is there, then God vision is easy. God vision comes, God realization comes when grace is there. Mind is purified, desires are relieved, desires are gone, and you become real person. And your attitude changes, your behavior changes, your thought process changes, your demand of things in your life changes, your goal changes, and divine grace as it flows to you by repeating God's name, ultimately that God comes to you. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna is saying, that repeating the name of God in solitude and in secrecy without people letting know is called japa. In Hinduism, we find that Brahman is self-revealed. It is due to the impurities of the mind that we cannot have a vision of God. Japam, repetition of Om, purifies the mind so that we may have His vision. The spiritual vibrations generated by wholeheartedly repeating the holy name with faith evokes spiritual vibration that purifies the mind and heart. The science of repeating God's name. Very vibration of the divine name, which is the symbol of holy or sacred, that purifies our heart. Unknowingly, very, very subtly it does. And what is the name of God? All the names of God are so holy. One of the name of God that is found in the Vedas the name of reality, the name of Brahman is Om. In the Gita, it is said Om is the name of God. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. It is one-lettered Brahma, one syllabled Brahman. Brahman is unthinkable. We cannot reach. But Om is, we can utter Om. So Om is the name of God. So any name of God is holy and powerful to make our mind purify. So God is holy. God's name is holy because God and His name are the same. God is not different from His name. Each holy name is God and all His attributes. In a small name, God is completely there. In saying Rama, only Rama, two-syllabled word, but whole of divine being is there. Not only Rama, the one that was born as the son of Dasharatha, is there, but all gods and goddesses are there in the name of Rama. Every name of God contains the whole of God. Whole of Brahman is there. In Om, the whole of reality is there. Whole of infinite Brahman is there in the sound Om. That is the power of name of God. Om is Shabda Brahman. Brahman in the form of a sound. Om is the sound symbol of the impersonal and personal God. Patanjali refers to Om as the symbol of Ishvara or personal God. Tasya vachaka pranava. His manifesting word is Om. That's what Raja Yoga exponent that he said, Patanjali said, that God is denoted by the word sound Om. Om is the name of God. Swami Vivekananda says, Ishvara is the Atman as seen or grasped by the mind. His highest name is Om. So repeat it, meditate on it, and think of all its wonderful nature and attributes. Repeating the Om continually is the only true worship. It is not a word, it is God Himself. Jesus is not the word, it is God Himself. Allah is not a word, it is God Himself. Om is not a word, it is God Himself. Sri Ramakrishna says, Japa means silently repeating God's name in solitude. When you chant His name with single-minded devotion, you can see God's form and realize Him. Very name can you make God realized person. Holy Mother placed the greatest emphasis on daily japam. Holy Mother, today is the day to remember Holy Mother. On the day in 1872 who was worshipped by Sri Ramakrishna, which is considered by as the incarnation of God, the manifestation of God Himself, has worshipped Holy Mother. One person was Holy Mother's disciple, and one brahmachari had joined. He asked that Holy Mother's disciple, Sri Ramakrishna is considered as divine incarnation, as God by many, he is worshipped by many. But Holy Mother just cooks food for devotees. She is always worried what should be fed. Nobody, and there is no tea in the village. Where to get milk for making tea? Person is from Kolkata, metropolis of Kolkata, goes around in the village in the morning, early morning in the winter days, and just worried how to feed, how to nurse, how to take care. Where is the Holy Mother divine? How do you compare Holy Mother with Sri Ramakrishna? That Holy Mother's disciple knew Holy Mother, who Holy Mother was. He became grave and serious. And later on again that question the brahmachari asked. Newly joined novice, he asked to this senior Swami, who is the disciple of Holy Mother herself. Later on he said, I don't know the glory of comparison between Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, but it is, says Sri Ramakrishna was such a great being who is worshipped as divine incarnation by hundreds today. But that very Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Holy Mother literally as the divine mother, divine divinity. So who is greater, you can imagine yourself. That is the glory and greatness of Holy Mother. So Holy Mother emphasized japam very much. The mind will be steadied of itself if aspirants repeat God's name 15 or 20,000 times a day. I myself have experienced it, says Holy Mother. They will not say anything. 15 or 20,000 times a day. It is little difficult for us, but Holy Mother used to do that. She said she used to do 100,000 times every day. She used to do. Every breath was the name of God she used to do. In every breath, she used to repeat God's name. And that is what is called ajapa japa. When the japa becomes so practiced that every breath, with every breath you repeat God's name. Unknowingly it becomes automatic, it becomes involuntary that God's name starts coming. The name of God that we often do japam, the practice, is the name that we get from our teacher or guru. And they gave, this is the name or the formula that you repeat. It has God's name with some suffixes and prefixes called bija mantra. Repeat this, it will take you to the divine realization. That is called mantra. From the name of God, it becomes mantra. And the Diksha mantra it is called, initiation mantra. Initiation mantra is nothing but God's name coming through the tradition, getting all the power of the whole Sangha or whole people, and power and blessing of all the seniors that is contained in that holy name. Let's consider the following scenarios. Our clothes get dirty, we clean those with soap. Water is getting impure, we can purify that using water filter, some chemical or aquaguard or any such thing. Society is getting corrupted. We can reduce corruption by using some anti-corruption laws. Computers are getting viruses. We can remove the virus by some antiviruses. Our body is infected by germs. We can cure ourselves by some antibiotic medicines. Now the question arises, what if our mind is infected by disease? What are the diseases of mind? Anxieties, depression, lust, greed, anger, ego, pride, etc. There are innumerable things that really pollute and make mind really sick. Mind becomes sick when all these things infect the mind. How to make mind, cure the mind from this disease? So many diseases. There are so many viruses and bacteria that are there already infecting. So no antibiotic eating will infect us. No antivirus of the computer will clean our mental virus. So how to clean this virus of the mind? That is the challenge. The answer is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to chant the name of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the following. He says one beautiful verse. Let me recite that verse. Is in Sanskrit from one of his compositions called Shikshastakam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered as incarnation of God who brought very spiritual wave in India in like 16th century. And that wave which united whole humanity, where he moved without any distinction of any caste or creed or even religion. All were just motivated in the divine bliss, unity of divinity. That most powerful being regarded as incarnation of God by many during his time and now also, that he wrote only 8 verses. That is all his composition. Very brilliant student he was. Later on nothing he composed. Only his talks, his name, his only teaching was repeat the name of God, sing the glory of God. Hare, that you see that, hear that mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he composed 8 verses in Sanskrit. The first, this is called Shikshastakam, 8 verses on education, on Shiksha, on wisdom. First verse goes like this. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandam bubudhivara vardhamam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma Snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is about the glory of the name of Sri Krishna, name of glory of God. That is like when you sing that, what happens? Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, name, singing the name of Krishna, says Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What it does? It cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. So it gives you mukti from samsara, from rebirth, death and rebirth, that continued cycle of birth and rebirth and death. The repeating and singing in the name of Krishna does that. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge.